New joining us from Los Angeles tonight is the top Democrat on that committee, California Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff. Congressman, just as a predicate before I allow my colleagues to jump in and join the questioning, I need a prediction on how you feel, because you have a stake in this, your party in the House of Representatives is going to do on Tuesday night.
I feel very optimistic, and I feel pretty confident about Tuesday. Of course, that's not unlike how we felt 2 years ago, so we're all a bit superstitious about this. But the candidates are doing so well. The quality of these candidates is like nothing I've ever seen. It's the largest, most well-qualified group of Democratic candidates who have ever run for the House, at least in the post-Watergate period. And they're doing very well. And it looks like the late-breaking results are breaking our way, and that tends to be the trend in an election. They don't split down the middle. They usually break one way, and they certainly look like they're going to break in our favor.
Congressman Schiff, it's Nicole Wallace. Devin Nunes, the Republican chair of the House Intel Committee, essentially functions, objectively speaking, as a tool of the Trump White House in terms of doing their bidding with the FBI and the Justice Department, the Russia investigation. Where do you start if you become the chairman of that committee? What is your first, second, and third to-do item?
Well, I think we'll do on our committee what really we'll have to do as a caucus, and that is we're going to have to prioritize. We're going to have to decide, okay, what are the most important issues to look at first? And, certainly there is a constellation of issues around the Russia investigation where, as you say, our chairman was acting as essentially a Trump lawyer on the Intelligence Committee that was doing the investigation, not only preventing us from bringing in witnesses that had relevant testimony and acquiring important documents, but affirmatively going after investigators, going after the Justice Department, the FBI, and doing what he could through his perch, which was not insignificant, to interfere and obstruct the investigation that Bob Mueller was doing. Obviously, we're going to protect the Mueller investigation. More than that, we would like to provide the transcripts of the witness interviews to the special counsel. There are several witnesses. We have concerns about potential perjury. Others have evidence we think that should be shared.
Can you tell us who they are? Who would you bring back that you've already had?
Well, one that certainly has come to light recently in terms of some of the public disclosures, but if these emails that have been published from Roger Stone are accurate, those were documents that certainly would have been called for him to produce to our committee. There are other issues that have come up just within his testimony, but he's not alone, where we have substantial questions about their truthfulness. But probably no one is in a better position to evaluate than Bob Mueller. We sought earlier to have the Republicans join us in providing these materials, and they refused. They were, it appears, willing to try to protect witnesses that may have lied to our committee as long as they were lying to protect the president. And, of course, that's not how you conduct an investigation. That's how you conduct a sham of an investigation.
Congressman Chris Matthews, can you get Trump's tax returns by subpoena as chairman of the committee?
I think logically, I mean, we could if it was relevant to issues. For example, we've wanted to look at and have made efforts to look at the issue of whether the Russians were laundering money through the Trump organization. But honestly, in terms of the tax returns, probably the committee that has the most jurisdiction there is the Ways and Means Committee. And I think Richie Neal has said that if he becomes the chairman of that committee...
Do you have any idea whether the Democratic caucus, as a caucus, would like to get Trump's tax returns as a group? Would you all like to get it?
Listen, I think that any candidate for president should release the tax return. One way of enforcing that norm, and frankly, we never thought this was a norm that would be broken. It has been by this president. One way to enforce that norm is to use the statutory power of Congress to obtain a tax return for a presidential candidate who refuses to disclose it. And this is particularly important where there are credible allegations that the President of the United States may have a financial conflict of interest that is driving U.S. policy. Is our policy vis-a-vis Russia driven by Russian money in the Trump organization? Is our policy vis-a-vis Saudi Arabia and conversely with respect to Qatar being driven by business interests with respect to the Trump organization? The American people deserve answers to these questions. We deserve to know, we indeed need to know, whether the president is making decisions in our interest or in his family's financial interest.
Congressman Adam Schiff of California on tap to be the chairman of the Intelligence Committee if the Democrats win the House on Tuesday. Congressman, thank you very much.